It's Playoff Central Live. Matt Weiner, Kevin McHale right over there. Fellow Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas here with us as well. Portland, despite 42 from Damian Lillard, 32 in the first half, couldn't keep up offensively with Denver, and for the most part just couldn't get stops all night long, which has been a problem this entire season. What for you, Zeke, changed from game one to game two to change this result so significantly in favor of the home team?
Well, you saw better ball movement from Denver, more aggressiveness on the defensive side of the ball. And they really got into Portland and made them do some things they didn't want to do. Dame was great because he was able to create his own shot. But I thought Denver's aggressiveness, their defense, and the way Jokic moved the ball, but also just the way they were able to get in transition and create off turnovers really gave them the edge tonight.
Yeah, I thought Jokic is not getting double-teamed at all because they didn't want Jokic to pass. Right. They had one assist the first game. He only had 5 tonight. So when you don't get double-teamed, you go to work. And so you see, watch, you're going to see a bunch of 4 and 5 dribble moves. And he's been making his normal shots he does make. But, when you have the ball in your hand and you can make 4 and 5 dribble moves, that's like playing out in the park with your buddy one-on-one. I mean, that's just way too much to give him that much space.
Right.
And I think, you got to take something away from great players. But and I don't think they want to double team him. But I look at the rest of the roster and I say, can those guys make enough shots, even if you are double teaming them? I just don't think you can let that big fellow just play one-on-one like that. I mean, there was multiple times he'd dribble here and he'd stop and spin back over here, then go back over there, and everybody stood hugged up. And to me, that was a big thing. It worked well in game one. Took the assist. It's taking the assist away from Jokic, but he's just too good to give him that many dribbles.
Especially if he knows it's coming.
Yes.
You probably had an inkling after what happened in game one. Denver much better from the three-point line tonight. They knocked down 12 of 28. Portland was great from the three-point line, but they also turned it over 21 times. And again, Zeke, you have to look to the defensive end when you think about Portland and their chances to make a long-term run in the postseason. They were second to last in defensive efficiency in the regular season, and tonight was one of those nights where they just didn't get a lot of stops.
Yeah, I mean, we focus and we concentrate so much on offense, and we talk about the offense a lot. But at the end of the day, defense wins championships. And, what Portland has is they got great offensive players, but at some point in time, if they want to take the next step and advance to the next rounds and become a serious championship contender, they got to become a great defensive team.
We had some contentious moments in this game as well in Colorado, some playoff skirmishes early on in the series. It's only game 2, and these two are already at it. A number of occasions where guys were in each other's faces early on in the game. See Campazzo getting in there between Nurkic and Austin Rivers. Nate Tibbetts, assistant coach, wound up getting a technical foul for this gathering near midcourt.
You can tell the league hasn't hit anybody in a long time because Nate Tibbetts came running up there like he was 7'2" or 3, and that dude is about 5'9". So I think one good pop stops a lot of that stuff.
So Carmelo knock over Jokic there. Jokic didn't really react to it, but referees took notice. And then this Facundo Campazzo just absolutely baiting C.J. McCollum into with what they called a flagrant one. I thought that'd be a dead ball technical, but they called it a flagrant one. And then Jokic teed up on the sideline after a foul. He didn't like. There were a lot of free throws, a lot of fouls called in a very, very choppy game. For you guys, having played in so many playoff games and coached in so many playoff games, how does it affect the game itself when it is as choppy as this one was, with a lot of stoppages, a lot of whistles?
I don't like a lot of stoppages when you're playing and coaching either. It ruins the rhythm of the game. Hey, you're not going to like each other. It's the playoffs. You play each other every other night. And I'm actually liking that. It's the second game. You've already decided you don't like each other. You're not going to like each other in 3 more games. Might as well start it now.
Why wait till game 6?
Yeah, well, why wait till game 4? And so you go, I don't like them. So I'm just going to get chippy. And they started, doing that stuff. But the thing that gets me is a lot of the stoppages. I just think it just takes way too long. The game keeps flowing. I don't mind little skirmishes like that. I just think it just adds something to the game. I think some of the best competition, when you start getting it personal with the other team and really just taking it personal and a lot of yapping, a lot of trash talking and stuff like that, that's fun.
It's part of what makes the playoffs great. And Zeke, in today's game, for the most part, we know nothing's really going to happen, right? They're going to gather at midcourt. They all know they can't have a real fight because that means suspensions and
for a year
and unbelievable fines, and suspensions mean games lost in the playoffs. I don't know. How do you view this early antagonism between the two teams?
I like it also. As Kevin said, it's good to have a little animosity. Sometimes it's best when you have a lot of animosity. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you control and play with that and use that animosity and that emotion to get a basket or stop someone else from getting a basket? And I think from the official standpoint, what we were fortunate enough, I believe, in our era is that I think the officials knew and had a certain kind of instinct or feel in terms of, okay, there's aggression, there's pushing and shoving, but nobody's really getting ready to throw a punch.
Right.
So therefore, we keep it moving. We don't have to stop and have a 5-minute, talk or dissertation about who's right, who's wrong. But, it's just about, okay, hey, cut it out and let's keep it moving. And Mikhail, how many times have one of us been knocked to the ground and Jack Madden or Jake Donald will run by and they do this?
Yeah, get up. Just keep playing.
Come on.
Yeah. I'm not blowing a whistle.
Exactly.
Just get up and run.
Exactly.
All right, you just get up and run back.
That's great. All right, for Portland now, you're going to say, or they're probably going to say mission accomplished, right? They go into Denver. They take one of two. But coming out of this, what's the adjustment that you see right off the bat for Terry Stotts moving forward?
Well, I think, as Mikhail said, I think defensively they're going to have to do something with Jokic. I mean, he's MVP of the league, and he's playing. He and Embiid are playing like true big men. And in the NBA today, we don't have real big men playing the way these two are playing. And when big men decide to play and throw their weight around and move and hey, they control the game. They can control the tempo of the game. How they control the tempo of the game is they get to the foul line a lot. So therefore, your offense is always playing against 5-on-5. And then when they start leaning that weight on you and putting that weight on you for 4 quarters, that wears you down too. So guys like Jokic and Embiid, as Mikhail was saying, you have to double team those guys because they become so disruptive because they get you into the penalty early. And before you know it, every time there's a foul, somebody's going to the line and they just, knocking down free throws. And before you know it, you're down 10.
Jokic is so good at reading whatever he's given and taking it. And boy, he took a lot tonight. 15 of 20 from the field.
Yeah. I mean, just basically, if you're going to give a really talented player just a whole bunch of dribbles and a whole bunch of space, and look at no one's coming right now. I mean, he's playing bully ball, just knocking them out of the way. But someone has got to come down there and dig in, get the ball out of his hands, and you got to make somebody else beat you. I know that he's more than capable of beating you, with the pass, but you got to make somebody else score. He's now what's the biggest difference to me with Jokic is right now his little set shot is just money. That 15-footer, he moved it out to the 3-point line. He just makes, still like him in the post when he's going to work. And if I'm Portland, I'm going to take the ball out of his hands next game. I'm going to double team. I'm going to scramble. I'm going to make somebody else beat us. Look at all the room he's got out there. And I tell you, big fella's been making it.
Huge night for Jokic. Mission accomplished for Denver with a Game 2 win to tie things up at 1-1. Here's head coach Michael Malone.
We're going to get things started here. We'll open up with Mike Singer from the Denver Post.
Michael, the other day you said you wanted your team to be more physical and play with an edge. Was that perhaps the most pleasing aspect of tonight, was the toughness you guys showed?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely one of them. That right there was a playoff game, for both teams. The intensity. You had 2 high-level players in Damian Lillard and Nikola Jokic playing at their respective levels. The crowd was great. A big shout-out to our crowd, making this such a tough place to play. But it was chippy, and that's the way it should be. We're both fighting for something, and that's the way the playoffs should be. So I loved it. That's my kind of game right there. I thought Aaron Gordon in the second half, Damian Lillard in that first 32 points. I thought to hold him to 10 points in that second half and only one made 3 was critical to us getting that win. The last thing I'll say is this. we always talk to our players about staying ready. And Shaq Harrison played about 1 minute and 15 seconds in that first half and had a huge impact. So this was truly a team win. Yes, Nikola scored 38. Other guys contributed, but everybody that played, even the guys that didn't play, were into the game and bringing that energy. And I loved it. We didn't get down after game one. We're not getting too high after game two. We have a lot of work to still do.
Harrison Wynn, DNVR.
Hey, Michael, putting Aaron on Dame, just how did you kind of arrive at that decision, and what was he doing to Dame to just really limit him? Because Dame only attempted 5 threes in that second half after he really just got a lot of space in that first.
Yeah, I mean, it's something in the week leading up to game one, we had talked about, we were starting him on Norman Powell. Facu was on Dame. Austin Rivers was on CJ. But putting size. So tonight, going into game two, we met this morning. We talked as a staff. Let's give him different looks. Facu, he brings something different to the table. He's smaller, but he's into you. Austin Rivers has more size. And then at halftime, after the 32-point first half, we say, let's let Aaron Gordon guard him. That's one of the reasons we brought AG here. That defensive versatility. And obviously he embraced it. He wanted it. That's the best part about it. This is something that Aaron Gordon's been wanting to do. And he just made it hard. Listen, Damian Lillard's an incredible player. We saw that in that first half. But I think Aaron's size makes it a little bit tougher maybe to get those shots off. But, like I said earlier, Harrison, 1-1, we're not going to get too excited after this win.
Brandon Cristal, KOA.
Coach, the bench the other night, I think, was outscored 34-20. Y'all flip it tonight and outscore them 38-21. How nice was that to get that from your guys off the bench?
Oh, it was terrific. Obviously, the guys that kind of jump out, Monte Morris, whose minute restrictions kind of been, taken away because this is the playoffs. He goes out and gets 12 and 7. I thought Paul Millsap was terrific in both halves. Jermichael Green, I thought, did a hell of a job for us. Come on, we're in the playoffs and we're playing two-way players. Give me one other team in the playoffs that's playing two-way guys. And that's why you got to love this team. Marcus Howard goes out there and plays like he belongs because he does. Shaq Harrison goes out there and guards like he belongs because he can. So, yes, not only our bench productivity, but I think more importantly, a big thing after game one was their bench dominated us. Carmelo Anthony Simons hit 8 out of 13 threes. So we did a much better job of not only scoring off our bench, but defending their bench into the game.
Michael Spencer, CBS Denver.
Hey, Michael, I feel like we're asking you at least some version of this question after every game, but when Nikola goes out and has a career high or a playoff career high 38 and does it on 15 of 20 shooting, what impressed you the most about what he did tonight?
I don't know. I mean, like he's a great player. And some of the shots he was hitting, well defended. And he was just making them look easy. And that's what great players do. I know much was made of the one assist in game one. I think that was an outrageous narrative, as I mentioned pregame. In order to get an assist, you have to make shots. We struggled to make shots in game one. Obviously, we shot 43 from 3 tonight. He gets 8 boards, 5 assists, and he was terrific. So it's just comforting to know that you have a player that you can play through that's going to make the right play throughout the game. And I thought Paul Millsap, while Nikola was on the bench, did a hell of a job allowing Nikola to get some rest where I didn't have to feel like I had to play Nikola 42 minutes. And that's really crucial as we move forward in this series.
Joel Rush, Forbes.
Hey, Coach. Michael Porter has maybe kind of raised the bar on our expectations of him. He had, for him, what was maybe a pretty good but modest stat line tonight, but he was a plus 17. So outside of his shooting, what did you see from him that was effective tonight?
The end of the second quarter, and he grabbed me on the way off the court because, he was getting switched on to Dame, and he's way too far down the floor. And at that point, Dame was shooting into a hula hoop. And so I took him out because he had the 2 fouls. I took him out because he was allowing too much separation. And I think he realized going into the second half that he had to be a lot more in tune defensively. My favorite Michael Porter play maybe of the season was him diving on the floor, getting a loose ball that leads to a Shaq Harrison dunk and a potential 3-point play. Jamal Murray came up to me and says, Coach, he didn't dive on the floor, he got tripped. I'm saying he dove on the floor because that's the effort that we need. And we talked about that after game 1. You know, we only had 9 deflections in game 1. We only had one 50-50 ball in game 1. So tonight was a much, much better overall effort for the entire team.
Mark Kisla, Denver Post.
Hey, Coach. I want you to talk a little bit about Nikola's competitive nature. And the way I want to ask that is, how hard is he to hold back on that bench when he's not too happy with the refs? But you managed to do it some way.
Yeah, I tossed him aside like he wasn't even there. No, listen, I share in his frustration. I mean, like, you know, I see what he's going through. And so I understand the frustration. But I also understand how important he is, Kiz. He's the MVP. And if we get a technical foul or if we get him in foul trouble or whatever it is, you know, that's not going to be in our best interest. So I love his competitive fire. I love the fact that he gets emotional. He cares as much as he does. But then also I have to make sure that I'm trying to control him whenever I can, because when he's level-headed, he's the best player in the NBA. And we need that player. And he's come such a long way in that regard. Year 1 to year 6, obviously the referees would set him off. And I think he's done a masterful job overall this season of handling that and trying to work with the officials.
Sound good?
All right, that'll do it.
Hey, I didn't get a couple of stats out. Paint 54-32 Denver. Second chance points 21-4 Denver. Fast break points 16-4 Denver. If you add that up, 91-40 advantage in those 3 areas, which are all hustle, energy, passion kind of stats. So this was a great win for us, but as I mentioned earlier, we'll have to be even better on the road to try and get game 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Michael Malone energized by the win. Terry Stotts heads back to the home floor, tied up at a game apiece.
What changed when they put Gordon on Dame, and do you feel like you need to make an adjustment that way?
Doing that at some point during the series, so you know, we got to get a little bit more movement. You know, we'll look at the film and see what we can do, but obviously that's something we thought would happen during the course of the series, and yeah, we can adjust, but you know, Dame's a great player. We'll figure it out.
Aaron Fentress, the Oregonian.
Coach, your bench contributed so much in game 1 tonight. They thoroughly got outscored. How much did that hurt you guys, obviously?
Look, the reality is they were the more aggressive team. Their starters were more aggressive. Their bench was more aggressive. They played much better than they did in game 1, and they deserved to win the game. So, you know, we can point to a lot of different things, but they outplayed us top to bottom, other than Dame's 40.
Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest.
Terry, what happened defensively that they were able to get to the basket? So many things went right for you Saturday night, and it didn't seem like a lot of things went right for you tonight.
I thought they were much more aggressive. You saw at the start of the game, Campazzo came out aggressive, getting to the basket. Rivers hit a couple shots. Morris was aggressive. To be honest, I thought they got to the basket too much in the first game as well. But, you know, like I said, I think they responded from game 1.
Christos Saltos, Sport DNA.
Hey, Coach, what are the takeaways of the 2 games against the Nuggets, and how important for you is to be more aggressive on game 3?
We have to be more aggressive. There's no question. You know, that's first game was more of an offensive game. They did a good job of getting into us, creating some turnovers. We only had 6 turnovers in the first game. We had 20 tonight. You know, 7 17 really with our main guys. So we got to get better care of the ball. We got to execute better. We got to rely on the pass a little bit more. And defensively, I thought Jokic had an outstanding game, but I thought he made some tough shots as well.
Coming up to Jason Quick with The Athletic.
What was your thought process when Nurk got his fifth foul?
I was bringing Melo in for him, and I thought I could buy a couple possessions with him. We were better with him out there. It's unfortunate he got his sixth foul, but we didn't have a lot going. I thought we made a little run with him in there with that group. Thought I could buy a couple more possessions.
Jacopo Francesco.
Hi, Coach. And listening to you, it's clear that you felt like you guys had a lack of sense of urgency. What's the reason for that, in your opinion?
I didn't say that. I said they were the more aggressive team.
And Dwight James with NBC Sports Northwest.
Terry, sorry, watching on television, things happen during commercial breaks that we can't see. What happened there in the first quarter where Nate Tibbetts was involved with their bench and stuff was going on? Can you explain to us what was going on there?
There was, I'm not going to get into the specifics, but, there was a little, I don't want to say altercation, but Michael Porter, I think, pushed Nurk, and Nate stood up for him.
And they gave him a technical foul for that.
Yep.
38, 8 boards, 5 assists, a ridiculous 15 of 20 from the field, and here he was immediately after the win.
Here, we'll start off with Mike Singer of the Denver Post.
Malone just said that felt like a playoff game. He said it was chippy, and that's the way that he likes it. Can you describe how physical it was out there, and kind of, what that physicality did to you guys?
I mean, it seems like we like it. I mean, we played really good. I think when they start kind of picking up the aggressiveness, I think we did it too, and we kind of meet the aggressiveness. Maybe we were a little bit higher, but we were still controlling it. That's it.
Ralph Haynes, 3-point conversation.
Hey, Nikola, great game tonight. Nikola, your team seemed like you had that sense of urgency. What, if you don't mind, not necessarily the specifics, but what was kind of the conversation like, or what was the mentality before the game in the locker room?
To be honest, it was the same. I think you're not. If you're gonna talk about it, you're not gonna do it. You just need to do it. So. We have, probably you have the same, the dog who barks doesn't bite. So, we just need to go out there and fight, So that was the feeling on the court, We never gave up. Even when Dame had a really get going, we stayed together, and we were just fighting through, and we won the game.
Eddie Wingy, Altitude Sports.
Hey, Nikola, do you think that type of physicality, that competitiveness, that chippiness, do you think that benefits your team? Do you think your guys play better and rally around that?
Maybe it would wake up some guys, maybe just wake up a little bit. But to me, it's the same. I don't care. Whatever is out there, I'm going to play.
Brandon Cristal, KOA.
Well, Coach Malone just talked about your maturity as it relates to frustration with the refs from year 1 to year 6. Are you less frustrated in year 6? Because you seem still pretty frustrated at times.
Yeah, it's emotional game, of course. We are playing for something, so it's of course, the refs are doing the best job they can, but you know, when you maybe think you get fouled, you're always gonna yell or whatever. So I think they have the toughest job. You know, they make it a good call or bad call. Someone is gonna yell at them. So it's something that I don't know how anybody wants to become a ref, to be honest. But I'm trying to do my best and just try to keep my calmness, just to help my team win the game. And I think I'm doing a good job, especially this year. Even last year I was doing a good job.
Mark Dina, USA Today.
Hi, Nicola. Good to see you. I had a non-game question on mental health and wellness. How do you think the mental toll of this season compares to the challenges in the bubble, and what's been your approach in navigating those different things?
I mean, it's hard, you know. Every night is a pressure. Every night is another game. Every night is another opponent. It's really the pressure that the players have of. Even if you're a star, even if you're a role player, you know, you need to you need to give your best. Of course, you're getting paid a lot of money to do that, but it's still I don't think so. It's worth if you lose your head and trying to be great. You know, I think if you lose yourself, it's not worth it. So it was really it is really hard. You know, but still, I mean, I think there is a lot of more people in the world that don't have money or whatever, you know, and they're having pressure of surviving, but still, it's still a job for us, you know. We're trying to do our best, and there is pressure. There is you need to go out there and give your best because, I mean, some players, if they don't play good, they're not gonna get the next year contract or whatever. So. It's kind of similar, but we're still getting paid a lot of money.
Vinny Benedetto, Denver Gazette.
Hey, Nicola, how encouraging was it for you guys to get those contributions from the bench? It seemed like anytime you checked in, you guys had a bigger lead than you did when you checked out.
I mean, to be honest, Monte was playing really good. Paul was playing really good. I mean, Shaq was phenomenal. Even he didn't play that much. He was playing first 1 minute in the first half, and he did his best. And he literally used that 1 minute to show that he can play. I think just the kind of it was positive. It was positive what the second unit did. You know, they moved the ball. They're finding open shots. They were aggressive. So I think it was a great game for them.
At Graham, Associated Press.
Hey, Nicola, thanks for taking the time. Can you talk a little bit about Aaron Gordon's defense on Dame in that second half? How vital was that?
Well, he did a really good job, you know. I think it's really hard to be on the top of your game the whole game, especially if you play 40 plus minutes. You know, you in just one moment you just lose it. You just get tired, you know. But I think Aaron was great the second half. He at least make him make a tough shots or just to create a tough shots. I think he did a really good job.
Mark Kisla, Denver Post.
Hey, Joker. Tell me what happened with Melo there in the first quarter. What was he trying to do? He threw you down there? What happened there?
I mean, it's just a push in the back, I think, and I kind of didn't want to get into the screen, so I kind of fall. So it was just a little aggressive play.
Esteban Abed.
Hi, Nicola. Congrats for the win from Córdoba, Argentina. What can you tell me about the big decision from Facu to attack more aggressive the paint tonight?
Yeah, he was aggressive. I think he needs to be even more aggressive because when you get in the paint, the people are gonna collapse. Even if he miss, if they black or if they switch, they're gonna the big is gonna have opportunity to get the rebound, you know. So just by attacking and being in a paint, you can create you kind of suck the defense in, you know. So you're gonna find open looks, and he did a really good job.
All right, that'll do it. Thank you, Nikola.
My pleasure, guys. Like always.
Production starts from